Welcome to Freshly Brewed Ideas podcast by Sergeant Matthew. This is the audio version of the bi-weekly newsletter that brings some of the best actionable ideas, thought leadership, things that can inspire you, and insights that can spur creativity and generate curiosity. If you find this valuable, then please consider subscribing to the newsletter and extend your support by following Freshly Brewed Ideas on your favorite platforms. Here are the top 5 ideas for March 29th, 2022. Tackle retention issues with stay interviews. If you're a manager, you would agree that retaining people is challenging and a bit tricky. When one day they're all happy and engaged, and the next day they come to you about their decision to move on. I think every manager should be supportive of their team members' growth, and at the same time, they need to make sure their decision to leave the organization to grow is not stemming from the issues that could have been addressed proactively. This idea speaks to conducting stay interviews, to proactively identify issues and problems and solve them so that you don't lose highly engaged and motivated employees. You ask your loyal employees some key questions to understand how engaged they are. Here are the 4 suggested questions. What's your frame of mind today? Listen to their response, appreciate their honesty, and engage them in creating a solution. Who do you feel connected to at work? Explore ways to deepen those relationships because the glue that connects us to our colleagues also connects us to our companies. Finding ways for people to regularly connect socially and build relationships will extend their shelf life in the organization. What do you want to learn that will excite you and help you grow? This question indicates that you genuinely care for their growth and development and want to help them achieve their aspirations. What barriers can I remove for you to help you do your job better? Understand the barriers from their perspective and communicate what actions you could take to solve them or brainstorm with them on potential solutions. I would like to add one additional question from my side to this list of questions. How do you currently find your work-life balance and how would you like to improve it? This is not only about offering more benefits, but understanding and supporting their life outside work in a meaningful way. Leverage halo effect when starting a new job. The first few weeks on a new job is both important for the employer and the employee because it is the period when an employee starts to experience the people and the culture of the organization and decide whether they see themselves staying there for long, and for the employer to form an impression about their new hire before enough they start delivering. There is evidence that when you have a favorable impression of someone, you evaluate their actions more favorably than when you have an unfavorable impression, and this is called the halo effect. Here are a few things you can do to get your work off to a running start and construct your halo. It starts before you start. Prepare for your first day on the job, even before you get there. Read up more about the company and find out as much as possible about your responsibilities in the role. Familiarize yourself with terms you might encounter at work and create a set of questions you would like to get answered as soon as you get started. Once you begin the new job, you will feel overwhelmed with information, and if you start preparing ahead, it would be a lot easier to handle the amount of information thrown at you. This would make you look confident and ask better follow-up questions. Listen as much as you play. When you are a few days into your new job, there will be a temptation to contribute in a big way in meetings and discussions and make an impression. The advice here is that you should listen more to people than you speak. Understand their concerns, the work they are doing, and their priorities. The more you understand what everyone else thinks is important, the better you will be at devoting your efforts to key tasks. Be of service. No matter what role you take on, your initial focus should be on how you can help the people around you to achieve their goals. Starting your time with a new team by helping others reinforces a favorable first impression and also generates a sense of support from people you can rely on when you need them in the future. People who are leading others for the first time are often concerned about coming across as a strong leader. They may want to give orders to others in order to demonstrate that they can command a team. A leader who finds ways to help their team achieve their goals, however, can develop loyalty from people who report to them, which pays significant dividends down the line. Manage negative attitude at work with positivity. People who carry negative attitudes generally get excluded by others. But sometimes, in your personal and professional life, you don't often have the luxury to avoid negative people. You have to deal with them, but positively. And here's how. Differentiate and navigate between negativity and criticism. While these two can overlap, they are not the same. There could be all kinds of legitimate reasons to be critical in business situations, and we need people who can spot roadblocks ahead of time. It is also important to know how and when to share those comments. So, before we label someone with the bad attitude, we need to make sure that there is positivity and purpose in their comments. They are not being helpfully critical, but maybe their comment is coming at the wrong time or in the wrong way. Have boundaries for yourself and your teams. We need to have healthy boundaries that allow us to manage relationships with negative people. As an example, have a set of guidelines such as assuming positive intent in everything with you at work. This can curtail negativity. Dig deeper. As a leader, don't write someone off as a negative person because their negativity makes them harder to be around. But try to find out what's happening with them. Get fascinated about their situation. Maybe a small change in their work-life balance, a shift of task, or even a simple word of praise. You can empower yourself as a leader to help turn someone's attitude around. Find out how and why your team or even you may be contributing to a negative environment. Then commit to flipping that around. A good photograph is knowing where to stand. This quote is from Ansel Adams. In photography, you can easily double the quality of your photographs if you spend a bit of time thinking about where to stand. Through this quote, he is trying to emphasize the importance of putting the camera in the right spot so that you get an interesting point of view or perspective, which otherwise you won't see if you stand in the same place where others would. This idea is useful in other domains too. As an example, you can improve the quality of your writing by thinking of how to position it for the reader. Investing a little time where others don't can double your impact. To build a startup, build an audience first. Casey Neistat, the renowned YouTube star and co-founder of the Beam app, which was acquired by CNN and later on shut down, is a great example who built his startup by building an audience. He started his vlog 2 years before he actually launched Beam, so he could share with an audience what it meant to start a company and who might be excited about what he was doing. Ryan Hoover, the founder of Product Hunt, calls this an audience-first strategy, and it helps in the following ways. Recruiting. When you are pre-product, pre-traction, it is difficult to convince anyone, technical or not, to join the team. User acquisition. Acquisition is difficult pre- and post-product. Sooner you can de-risk this, the better. Research. Audience building leads to customer development and a better understanding of who you are building for. I hope you all found value in the ideas and insights shared in this very first cluster of the Freshly Brewed Ideas. And thanks again for subscribing and supporting. Please do share it in your network. If it is the first time here for you, please consider subscribing to Freshly Brewed Ideas. To receive the full newsletter in your inbox, you can sign up at freshlybrewedideas.sergeantmatthew.com. That's freshlybrewedideas.sergeantmatthew.com. The next newsletter will be next 2 weeks. Till then, Sergeant Matthew signing off.